Hello, welcome back to Womiba Finance channel. Today, I'll be telling you something that you need to be aware of. We have done many videos about Canada, and again, there are many complaints coming back. It's like striking. So, I want to address it. So, by the time you finish watching this video, it will help you understand your stay in Canada, how to make good use of it, because you can't just be working and paying tax, my people. We should stop doing it in Europe. We should look at Indians. You cannot work all the shifts in this world, wherever you are, then you pay tax and that is it. No, that's not. So in this video, I will be telling you what to be aware of in Canada and why many people are leaving Canada. And again, why the government is now struggling, because there are housing crises. And again, there are many things going on. As you can see in this video,
international students who are genuine applicants that came to Canada to study and were victimized by fraudsters will be given permission to remain in Canada. Those who were complicit in a fraudulent scheme will be held accountable for their actions and will bear the full consequences of Canadian law for their illicit behavior in this particular instance. We need to do what we can to protect the ability of those innocent people to remain in Canada, and with the process that I've laid out for you today, we'll be able to do just that.
10. This will inform you that many people, even African countries like Kenya, is now telling its citizens to go back, don't travel. Many people are sleeping on the street, which is true. Like everywhere in Western world, people sleep on the street. There are many houses.
Where are you going to?
Toronto, Canada.
What for?
Visitor.
You're going through Kenya.
Yes.
Why? You are not a resident, are you?
What?
Are you a resident in Kenya?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so you need to go back to Uganda and start your journey from there. You can't use Kenya to go to...
I was wondering, why is that?
Yeah, you can't use Kenya to go to
Why is that?
Canada because, first of all, we are stopping Kenyans from not going to Canada because of the difficulty they get when they get there. They either returned or they met with a lot of difficulties, challenges.
Okay.
They are left to go to the streets to survive, to find their ways of coming back. So this is not going to be easy or possible. You'd have to go back to Uganda.
So is that official now? Like, we cannot use this airport to go? Is it official? Like, is it written anywhere, or it's just you people
It's
making
official. We have a memo. You cannot allow anybody from any other country to travel through Kenya to Canada. If Kenyans, we are stopping Kenyans from going.
Because I already have my ticket. What should I do with that?
You already have your?
I already have my ticket booked. What should I do with that? Because the plane is leaving in less than 30 minutes.
We'll offload you so that you go back to Uganda. We'll offload you, then you take your flight back to Uganda. You begin your journey from Uganda.
Well, that is something I'm trying to fix now. I wonder why it's like that.
Yeah,
is
that
it
is
official? Is it written anywhere so that I get something from that? Or?
We're not reading, I'm telling you because I know. You don't have to read it from any other place. I'm telling you because that is what is happening.
So even Kenyans are not going to Canada?
Kenyans are not going to Canada at the moment.
At the moment?
Yeah, because of the difficulties that Kenya is facing there.
Especially
when you have a visitor's visa, they don't allow you into Kenya. And you must have a return ticket if you're having a visitor's visa. So most Kenyans don't have that.
I have my everything.
Your return ticket?
Everything I have.
You have your return ticket?
Yes.
When are you coming back?
It's supposed to be next year in January.
He's gone forever.
Next year in January.
Next year in January?
Yeah.
It's a long time. That is more of a visitor. I mean, it's not going to be possible.
Well, I don't understand who is making that impossible. Well, that is the lady who was attending with me.
Who?
That lady. I don't know who is making that impossible.
That lady was the one who was attending to you?
Immigration people or...
That is the lady who was attending to you?
Yes.
10. This will inform you that many people, even African countries like Kenya, is now telling its citizens to go back. Don't travel. Many people are sleeping on the street, which is true. Like everywhere in Western world, people sleep on the street. There are many housing crises. There are many other. So you need to be working. You need to be working 24/7 to pay your tax, pay your bills. Abroad is not easy, anywhere. Don't think that you come here, this your obono you bring, you will just balance and cook it. So let's see why Kenyans are telling the people to go back. I don't know, but there are issues. I've asked many people inside the Canada. I've asked my friend that is settling for past 7 months. She went in February. I think this is her 7 months or thereabouts. And I will try to bring her in this channel when she's settled, because she's a nurse, and again the husband is a radiographer, so they are in health sector. Both husband and wife are in health sector. So I will bring her to the channel and she can tell you from her own experience, because we have been checking my nursing, even to the extent of my nursing, the grocery, minusing it and adding it to what it should be in, if you're living in the comparisons, we just use that word, but we've been checking. It's not only easy to compare how much they are selling things, because that's one thing people do. We compare how much people are selling things, and we don't compare how much is the earning and how much is going out to the living costs. So they have to come together to make an informed decisions to what is happening. So, this, when you go to abroad, your problem is different from the next person. This next person might be battling a dependent visa refusal. You will be battling low grade job or downgraded in your job role. Or the other person will be battling home office, refusing to grant, a visa sponsorship. There are abroad, when you see people abroad, they all have different things they are battling. So you shouldn't tell from one person to another what is going on. So that is why you need to do the comparison properly, the job role, the earning, the expenses, and the training requirements and all that, to come to a conclusion on what is actually happening. Just don't mind those children that are making noise in the background. They're in their room anyway. They're not going to be here to disturb us. So number one is unrealistic expectation. Even people, I talked about Barbados the other day. People were asking, how easy? Can I do this? Can I do it in 6 months? I don't know whether they think immigration or migration is something that you come and, use your own brain to shorten the system or shut the system out, or to make it easier for you. Let me just open it here. I don't care who is watching or who is listening or how good. But to majority, and when I talk of this majority, I talk of 98% of people living abroad. There is crisis time in all their lives. I mean, crisis. There's crisis time in all their lives. There is crisis time. So don't ever think that they all had it easy. There is crisis, time. People experience and people work hard to get out of it and become who they are. I had my own fair share. And if I start to talk about it, you will tell me, why am I still living, and why, somebody saw me yesterday, said, you don't even have wrinkles like our mates. You don't even change so much. To the grace of God, the things that cannot break you are the things that will eventually make you. So, unrealistic expectation. Don't think when you come here, there's a house waiting for you. Except when you already married a man that is living here, that, has made a lot of things, or a woman that is living here that has made a lot of things easier, like you will not suffer from accommodation if you've already gotten somebody that has already mortgaged their home, paying bills, didn't go to that crisis rate of getting the first mortgage, building the credit rating, building this, and checking the finances, the growth in the job and the payments of the salaries, managing it, managing tax, managing life changes like giving birth to children. I stopped working due to illness and again childcare crisis. So there are many things that, because you are a human being, when you have when you eventually become a mother or a father, things changes. That child needs 24 hours care. You have to manage it with your job. You have to manage it with your relationship. You have to manage it with your daily activities and me time. You see what I mean? So things changes. There are people that doesn't even have that kind of struggle. Maybe they have gotten the visa sponsorship. So what is happening to them is that waiting time, that visa sponsorship is ending, the crisis in their job. So it is unique. So don't expect that when you come here, then the Trudeau will give you everything for free of charge. No, there should be a crisis time, there should be a sowing seed time, and there should be a harvestation time or harvesting time or harvesting period. So you just hang in there. It will always get better. That is all I have to say in this number one. This is your unrealistic experiences. Just bring it down, please. Then number two is real estate rental prices. That's crisis, like I said before. There are many people that had issues, and again, there are many people that are recovering from their own housing issues, like when you go trying to get a house close to your job, because obviously it's Canada, the winter time, you need to get a job close to your school, your children's school, if you have children, close to your work. You know, these things are not easy. And sometimes wherever you work or where your children go to school might be in a high-brow area, then the money has to be, then you'll be struggling with your wage, your set wage, because a wage cannot change because your rental bill changes or changed. No. Salary don't do that. Salary stay the way they are till you get promotion or get salary increase. The number three is low salary compounded with high taxes and cost of living. Like I was trying to explain to you before, that somebody earns 100,000 Canadian dollars is not the same thing that somebody earn 20,000 Canadian dollars. But both people might meet in the boxing ring if the expenses of the one earning $100,000 Canadian dollars is 90, like the bills is 90,000 Canadian dollars, and the bill of Mr. B is 5,000 Canadian dollars. You can see the one earning less is saving more, while the one earning more is not saving at all. So these are the things you have to, it's not about how much you earn, it's how much at the end of the bills, how much are you having to invest in your life. That is what you should be looking at, because when they say somebody, I have a girl, when I was living with some colleagues, then we are still single, so I go to job in London, I go to work in London, and she goes close to me, and I am more, and I struggle because I pay in train tickets over £2,000. So it takes off a big chunk. If you check it, I think it was 2,800 a yearly ticket, because I have to do it yearly to because I go through the zone 1. That is if you're in London, you understand what I mean. If you go through zone 1, you are dead. So the bill will go high. than the person working close that is taking small. So I removed that and removed 2,800 from my salary before to start. Then the stress, the 2 hours going early and 2 hours coming, that's 4 hours wasted in my time. I sat down, I checked it. Do you know that day I have to go and get a care work close to me to think on the next step so that I can even have money to pay mortgage? So you should think that way. It's not about job, it's about because if I leave your own mortgage to go and live in another place, you'll be paying your mortgage and you'll be paying rent. That is it. So it was even the lady that even then, I don't even really know more in finance. I've not even done my MBA in manufacturing finance management or thereover. So, but and she's a Chinese. She told me she is better to work in Tesco than travel. She's the one that opened my eyes, not about money, but about the traveling. She said, okay, you wake up 6 o'clock to go to a job that starts 9 o'clock. You understand? She works 8:30 to go to a job starting 9. So I woke up early and nobody is paying me for that traveling allowance. You understand what I mean? So these are the things you have to check for yourself when you migrate. Then number 4 is no job in your original job role. Maybe you are chief accountant in Africa before you went to abroad. Then you you arrive in Canada and it will be picking veggies in the farm that is your, so it can, your state of living and all that can, have some issues. So that is another factor. Then number 5 is not too much to do throughout the year, because the year is always cold. They only have 3 months to, 3 months fair weather in that 3 months. But then the country becomes so cold for them to do other things. So this is another thing. It's not as if that you can do another job with that kind of weather, or there are other things to do in that kind of weather. So Canada is very, very cold. So number 6 is lower standard of education compared to what Europe can offer. Yes, no matter how you want to argue, yes, that is what one of the people I discussed it told me, because she has had masters in UK, then she went there to have another masters. So when you compare with the amount you pay and what you get, they are so wide. So that is number 6. Number 7, you must learn how to be active indoors, otherwise you'll be lonely and you'll be bored, and that can trigger some certain things in your mental well-being. So if you're not somebody like me, because I love my own company, I only need food, things to do, books. I can stay in my house for 1 year. Yes, I have done 6 months. Yes, when I had my baby. It's only the time I went out is the immunizations and all that you will do early. When I had my last baby, yes, I can do that a year, 2 years. I don't know why people just bring in the gym in the home, the things that can keep me fit, so that I don't feel heavy, in myself. I can say, but if you're not somebody like me, you like it outside, Canada is not for you. You will be so your mental health well-being might be triggered, in a negative way. Then number 8 is poor quality of life compared to what the hours you put in the system. So now, safety, yes, it might be good. Then what are the others? There are things that when you, okay, for instance, you are indoor, you have financial crisis, you have bad weather to be, that keep you fixed in one place. Then again, you don't know how to manage your loneliness. You don't know how to manage being on yourself or enjoying your company. You can see what is happening. Depression will set in. So this is why when people, made it or get the citizenship in Canada, which is so easy, they move back to Europe or they move back to USA. I can count 9 people. Yeah, I was counting it today. I count 9 people. We did masters together. They all went to Canada and they are all back in United Kingdom, except 2 of them because they're married. Maybe that's what is making. I know 9, so you can imagine. Then number 9 is leadership. There's ballooning debt. Canada has taken in more than they can chew. The government is fighting, like you can hear it here.
So Canada's now surpassed the United States in terms of numbers of refugees that you're actually allowing in. Surpassed the United States. Now you have more space, but the country's tiny.
Yeah, right? We're 1/10 the size of the U.S.
Right.
In terms of population.
And the population isn't as on board with it. I mean, the popular polls are saying a solid majority of Canadians say they don't actually want to have this many people coming in.
I think my focus is not on what is popular or not. My focus is on how to make sure that Canada does well in the 21st century. And in terms of that, we need to be bringing in people from around the world. We need immigration, and yes, part of that is accepting refugees. Now, the way to reassure Canadians around that, because there is anxiety around it, is to point out that we have a strong immigration system, and the rules continue to apply, and security continues to be of concern, and no shortcuts are taken, and we are investing in the integration and support of new arrivals so that they can contribute as quick as possible. And that's the story we're seeing.
Yeah, the government is fighting debt. The government is fighting housing crisis. The government is fighting immigration crisis. The government is fighting funding crisis. So, with more people, there will be more strain in healthcare system. There will be more strain in education system. So that strain, they value the country. So when you get that kind of strength in the finance, in the education, in the health, so these are the 3 key things: your money or your life. So you have to think of it properly. Then healthcare system is free till when you get complicated or life-threatening illnesses, then that is when you will know. Sorry, that is when you will know that it is not free. So these are the 10 things that makes people leave Canada or makes people think Canada is so stressful and affecting their mental welfare. Sorry. So this is 10 things is what I think that is making things, happen the way they are happening in Canada, and why people are struggling, why newly immigrants are struggling there, and even students are struggling to find a job or get undergo so many mental health crises. So I'll be ending this video here. And again, if what you see in this channel interesting, please give us a I know because all of you are smart. All of you are good. You should know what is good. So please give us a subscription button. Just leave it. Just press it. Then leave your notification button so that you can come here and enjoy unfiltered truths, that is content, and that is specially made to help you on your migration, on your setting your financial freedom when you migrate. So I'll be here next time to grace your screen with a wonderful content that will help you. And please don't forget our tradition: share in your social media platform, tell your partner, your mom, your father, your siblings, your peers, your colleagues, your friends, and your associates about Womiba Finance channel. This is where we come real about migration. It is not all that rosy, but it is not all that bad. We have to have a balance somewhere. So I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to leave your notification button on. See you. Bye bye.